Most people think that all fish is a healthy choice for diabetes. But this is a commonly held belief that may not be entirely accurate in every case. In fact, some fish can actually negatively affect your blood sugar and cardiovascular health, especially if you consume them excessively. Shocking, right? According to the American Diabetes Association, more than 37 million Americans are currently living with diabetes, and many are told to eat more seafood. Yet almost no one warns them which types could be silently harming their health. That means millions of seniors may believe they're protecting themselves when in reality they might be making things much worse. And here's the truth that will make you stop and think twice. Not all fish are created equal. Some carry hidden toxins, high levels of mercury, or unhealthy fats that can wreck your blood sugar control. For someone over 50 with diabetes, choosing the wrong type of fish may make blood sugar management much more difficult. Can you imagine feeling like you're making the right choice at dinner, only to learn it's secretly raising your risk of complications? Stay with me until the end because I'll show you the 4 worst fish to avoid and the 4 best low GI seafoods you absolutely must eat. 4 types of fish to avoid. When you hit 50 and are living with diabetes, choosing safe fish becomes critically important. Not all fish are good for your heart or blood sugar. There are 4 types of fish that seem familiar but pose significant risks, and you should steer clear to protect your health. 1. Canned tuna. I know many of us have believed that canned tuna is a quick, affordable, and healthy choice. But recently, the FDA released a report highlighting mercury levels found in some products. Many batches of canned tuna contain mercury levels above safe thresholds. This is especially dangerous for older adults living with diabetes. Mercury is a heavy metal, and once it enters the body, it can impair neurological function, causing memory loss, hand tremors, and worse, it can increase oxidative stress, which is already elevated in diabetic patients. Our bodies are more sensitive after age 50, and this factor significantly raises the risk of complications. A 2023 study in the Journal of Environmental Health found that diabetic patients with high mercury levels in their blood face a 27% increased risk of cardiovascular complications. It's unfortunate because tuna is genuinely protein-rich and it may contain about 20 to 25 grams of protein, helping maintain muscle mass. But when mercury comes into play, these benefits are nearly overshadowed. Instead of helping you manage diabetes naturally after age 50, it threatens your heart and nervous system health. That's why many doctors advise older diabetic patients to opt for lower-risk protein sources. If budget or convenience makes canned tuna appealing, here's a small but crucial tip. Choose chunk-light tuna over albacore tuna. Why? Chunk-light tuna has mercury levels up to 3 times lower than albacore. An FDA comparative study showed average mercury levels in albacore at 0.32 ppm, while chunk-light is around 0.112 ppm. That means you can reduce mercury exposure by up to 60% with the same tuna dish. So, if you still eat tuna, prioritize chunk-light and remember to limit the frequency to only 1 to 2 times per week instead of daily. This is a simple, practical way to get essential protein while reducing complication risks. 2. Catfish. Catfish. Sounds familiar, right? This smooth-skinned fish is cheap, widely available, and common in American fast food dishes, especially when deep-fried. But the truth is, it may not be the best choice for individuals over 50 who are managing diabetes. The main issue lies in industrial farming. Most catfish on the market come from farms where they're fed low-cost, high-fat feed. As a result, their flesh contains high levels of saturated fat, the kind that can raise LDL cholesterol. When LDL rises, your blood vessels are more likely to harden, increasing the risk of heart disease, already a major concern for diabetics over 50. Pretty dangerous, isn't it? Nutritionally, catfish has some highlights. A 100-gram serving can provide over 100% of your daily vitamin B12 needs. But this benefit is overshadowed by the high saturated fat content, making this dish imbalanced. A study by Dr. Neil Barnard from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine showed that diabetic patients eating a lot of industrially fried fish had an average HbA1c increase of 0.7% after 6 months. This means blood sugar control becomes harder and complication risks rise. So, how can you reduce harm if you must eat catfish? Here's a special tip few Americans over 50 know. Instead of frying, steam catfish with fresh lemon. Steaming eliminates heavy oils, significantly cutting saturated fat. Adding a few lemon slices not only masks the fishy smell but also provides natural antioxidants. In fact, this method retains protein and vitamin B12 while reducing the burden of fat. It's a much lower risk option than deep frying. My advice is, don't let the convenience of fast food trade off your long-term health. If you must eat catfish, remember the lemon steaming tip. It's small, but it can help stabilize blood sugar and keep your heart healthier. 3. Farmed salmon. Many Americans believe salmon is always a superfood, great for heart health and blood sugar control. But, dear friend, not all salmon is created equal. Farmed salmon, the kind most of us see in supermarkets, has factors that are often overlooked when choosing seafood. The biggest concern is that farmed salmon contains far too much omega-6 compared to omega-3. Normally, the ideal omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in our diet should be around 2 to 1. But in farmed salmon, this ratio can reach 10 to 1. This means your body gets far more inflammation-causing compounds than anti-inflammatory ones. A 2022 study in the journal Nutrients found that when the omega-6 ratio exceeds 9 to 1, the risk of chronic inflammation and cardiovascular complications rises by up to 35%. Additionally, while salmon is famous for being rich in vitamin D, farmed salmon only provides around 250 to 300 IU per 100 grams, less than half of what wild salmon provides. Long-term vitamin D deficiency weakens bones, making them more prone to fractures, and reduces blood sugar control. Due to dense farming conditions, farmed salmon are often given antibiotics to prevent disease. Residue buildup can affect the liver and kidneys, organs already under strain in diabetics. A report from the European Food Safety Authority found that 20% of farmed salmon samples in Europe had antibiotic residues above permitted levels. So, what can you do? Always check the label when buying salmon. Don't just see Atlantic salmon and assume it's good. In reality, Atlantic salmon is almost always farmed. What you need to look for is the wild-caught label. This is the key to choosing salmon with a lower risk of inflammation. Another tip is to check the flesh color. Wild salmon has a deep, natural reddish-orange hue, while farmed salmon is often paler and more uniform due to artificial coloring. By knowing how to spot the difference, you not only protect your heart health but also better stabilize your blood sugar. 4. Swordfish. Did you know swordfish is one of the highest mercury seafoods out there? This is seriously dangerous, especially for those over 50 trying to manage blood sugar and protect their kidneys. Mercury directly impacts kidney and nervous system function. When it enters the body, it damages renal tubule cells, impairing blood filtration. For diabetics whose kidneys already work overtime to filter excess sugar, this may place additional strain on internal organs if not properly moderated. A study by the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases showed that type 2 diabetic patients with high blood mercury levels had a 12% average reduction in glomerular filtration rate, GFR. That means the kidneys lose over a tenth of their function, a serious decline. Nutritionally, swordfish contains selenium, an important antioxidant mineral that protects cells from damage. But this benefit is nowhere near enough to outweigh mercury's devastating effects. A 100-gram piece of swordfish can contain up to 0.99 ppm of mercury, nearly 10 times the FDA's average safe level. At this level, the risk of neurological and cardiovascular damage spikes, making it much harder to manage diabetes naturally after age 50. So, what's the tip for you? It's simple but vital. If you're over 50, especially with diabetes, avoid swordfish entirely. Not just eat less, it's best not to eat it at all. When dining out, don't hesitate to ask the server about the fish on the menu. Don't be shy, as many restaurants list grilled fish or catch of the day without specifying what it is. One question can protect your kidneys, heart, and prevent mercury buildup. My advice is to say no to swordfish. Don't let its luxurious appearance fool you. It's not worth trading your health for. 4 seafood choices you should eat. Now that you know which fish to avoid, let's explore 4 fantastic seafood options that people over 50 with diabetes should embrace. They're not only delicious and easy to prepare, but also low GI, helping to manage diabetes naturally after age 50. 5. Oysters. Many think oysters are only good for men's health, but in reality, oysters, especially those from the cold waters of the US and Canada, are a nutritional gift for those over 50 living with diabetes. They're one of the rare low GI seafoods that are both tasty and packed with nutrients. The standout feature is their zinc content. Do you know how crucial zinc is? It's an essential mineral that helps the pancreas produce insulin and improves cells' insulin sensitivity. For type 2 diabetics, where insulin resistance is common, getting enough zinc can significantly stabilize blood sugar. A 100-gram serving of oysters provides about 90 milligrams of zinc. While the daily recommended intake for adults is just 8 to 11 milligrams, that means a small serving of oysters can meet your zinc needs 8 to 10 times over. That's pretty incredible, right? But that's not all. Oysters also offer 3 to 5 grams of high-quality protein per 100 grams, helping maintain muscle mass and keep you fuller longer. For diabetics over 50, this is key to preventing weight gain and controlling blood sugar. Plus, oysters provide about 16 micrograms of vitamin B12 per 100 grams. Vitamin B12 not only supports nerve health but also reduces the risk of numbness in hands and feet, a common diabetes complication. According to the American Diabetes Association, adequate zinc intake can lower HbA1c by an average of 0.5% after 3 months. It sounds small, but a 0.5% drop in HbA1c translates to a 10% to 12% reduced risk of cardiovascular complications. That's truly meaningful for long-term health. So, how do you maximize zinc absorption? Eat oysters raw with a squeeze of fresh lemon. Cooking can reduce bioavailable zinc by up to 50%. The citric acid in lemon not only masks any fishy smell but also boosts mineral absorption. Of course, choose fresh, clean oysters from a trusted source. 6. Wild salmon. Did you know that the Eskimo population in Alaska has a significantly lower diabetes rate than the US average? One major reason is their diet, which is rich in wild salmon. This is worth thinking about because this fish isn't just delicious, it's one of the best low GI choices for managing diabetes naturally after age 50. The most remarkable thing about wild salmon is its high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. A 100-gram serving provides about 1.2 grams of EPA and 0.8 grams of DHA. These fatty acids help reduce insulin resistance, a key cause of elevated blood sugar in type 2 diabetes. Studies show that sufficient omega-3 intake can improve insulin sensitivity by 10% to 15%. That means your body responds better to insulin, leading to more stable blood sugar. Beyond that, wild salmon is a rich source of vitamin D. A 100-gram serving offers around 600 IU, nearly meeting the daily needs of adults. Vitamin D not only supports bone health but also regulates immunity and aids blood sugar control. Additionally, this fish is packed with high-quality protein, about 20 to 22 grams per 100 grams, helping maintain muscle mass and prevent muscle loss after 50. Research by Dr. Dario Mosafarian from the Harvard School of Public Health shows that eating wild salmon twice a week can reduce the risk of heart attack by up to 36%. That's impressive, especially since heart disease is a leading complication of diabetes. Many Americans discard the skin when grilling salmon, thinking it's too fatty. But the truth is, the skin contains the highest concentration of omega-3s. By removing it, you're missing out on the most nutritious part. My advice: grill or pan-sear salmon with the skin on, then add a squeeze of fresh lemon for extra flavor. This method retains 100% of the omega-3s while making the dish even more delicious. So, include wild salmon in your menu at least twice a week. It's a smart, safe, and incredibly beneficial choice for your heart, brain, and blood sugar. 7. Sardines. Have you noticed that Europeans eat sardines a lot? While in the US, this tiny fish rarely makes it to the dinner table. That's a shame because sardines are an incredible low GI food that can help you manage diabetes naturally after age 50. Yet, many Americans overlook them. The standout benefit of sardines is their ability to protect your bones. Diabetes complications often weaken bones, increasing the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. Just a 100-gram serving of sardines eaten with the bones contains about 380 milligrams of calcium, nearly 40% of your daily needs. Plus, sardines provide 270 IU of natural vitamin D. This calcium-vitamin D duo strengthens bones and reduces fracture risk, especially for older adults. But it's not just about bones. Sardines are also fantastic for heart health. They're rich in coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, a powerful antioxidant that protects heart cells and improves blood vessel function. Additionally, a 100-gram serving contains over 1.5 grams of omega-3s, EPA, and DHA, which reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and help manage blood pressure. According to Dr. Stephen Pratt in Superfoods for Diabetes, sardines are among the top foods for preventing cardiovascular complications in diabetics. And as you know, heart disease is the most dangerous complication after 50. Here's something few people know, but is crucial. If you choose canned sardines, go for those packed in olive oil rather than soybean oil. Olive oil contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds, while soybean oil is high in omega-6, which can increase inflammation when consumed in excess. This small change turns an ordinary can of sardines into a low-risk dish that's both delicious and better for your heart. You can enjoy them in a salad, on whole grain bread, or straight from the can with a few lemon slices. Convenient and nutritious. 8. Shrimp. Shrimp is a familiar dish in many American households, but I know some worry. Doesn't shrimp have a lot of cholesterol? Is it bad for the heart? The truth will surprise you. The cholesterol in shrimp doesn't significantly raise LDL like animal fats do. Instead, shrimp offers valuable nutrients that help people over 50 manage diabetes safely. A 100-gram serving of shrimp contains about 190 milligrams of cholesterol, which sounds high, but research shows this type of cholesterol doesn't significantly increase bad LDL cholesterol. It mainly boosts good HDL cholesterol. This is critical because HDL transports excess cholesterol to the liver for removal, reducing the risk of atherosclerosis. In fact, Dr. Michael Roizen shared on the Dr. Oz show that eating shrimp in moderation can even improve HDL levels in diabetic patients. Beyond that, shrimp is a rich source of astaxanthin, a potent antioxidant. A 100-gram serving contains about 1.5 to 2 milligrams of astaxanthin, which reduces inflammation, protects nerve cells, and is especially beneficial for the eyes, which are prone to diabetic retinopathy. Shrimp also provides 20 grams of lean protein per 100 grams, supporting muscle maintenance after 50, and only about 1.5 grams of fat, much lower than red meats. This makes shrimp a low-risk food that scientifically and easily helps you manage diabetes naturally after age 50. Here's a tip. Steam shrimp quickly with the shells on instead of peeling them before cooking. The shells contain the highest levels of astaxanthin, and cooking with them allows this compound to seep into the meat, maximizing your intake. This method also preserves the shrimp's natural sweetness without needing much oil, making it both delicious and healthy. Add a squeeze of lemon and some fresh herbs after steaming for a light, nutrient-packed dish. Don't let shrimp's cholesterol content scare you away from this nutritious food. Include it in your weekly menu. 2 to 3 small servings are ideal. It's tasty, supports heart health, and helps stabilize blood sugar. Throughout this guide, we've explored 4 dangerous fish to avoid and 4 amazing low GI seafoods you should eat regularly. The biggest takeaway is understanding that not all fish are good for your heart, kidneys, or blood sugar. And just a few wrong choices can worsen your diabetes. Ignore these tips, and your risk of cardiovascular complications could rise by up to 36%, with kidney failure risk increasing by 27%. That's why I want to stress, act today and adjust your diet to help manage diabetes naturally after age 50. With just a few small changes at the dinner table, you can prevent serious complications, keep your body strong, and fully enjoy your golden years.